I don't need lectures from Nigel Farage on what it means to be working people.
Nigel Farage drops behind-the-scenes bombshell about Keir Starmer. You're not going to believe what Nigel Farage just said. And the fact it happened when the cameras were supposed to be off? That's the part that has everyone talking. While the news cycle was glued to the usual political headlines, something else quietly unfolded behind the scenes. Something that could shift the way people see Keir Starmer, not in the scripted, polished setting of Prime Minister's questions, but in a moment the public wasn't meant to see. Nigel Farage, never one to hold back, claims he witnessed it. And now, he's talking. According to Farage, the whole thing began during a recent off-air segment at a political roundtable. Cameras had just cut, microphones were being unclipped, and staff were buzzing around the room. But that's when, he says, Starmer made comments and gestures that, in Farage's words, tell you everything about what's really going on. He didn't give the full verbatim, not yet, but he painted a picture that was enough to ignite social media. And here's the thing. When Farage speaks, especially about the Labour leader, the reaction is instant. Supporters rally, critics dismiss him, but the conversation, it never dies down. So, what's the claim? Farage says Starmer's off-camera remarks revealed a side to him that's completely different from the carefully managed public image. Not necessarily illegal, not necessarily scandalous, but telling. He hinted at private discussions on policy strategy, especially on migration and trade, that seemed at odds with what Labour has been saying on the record. And if true, that wouldn't be unusual in politics, but it would be another reminder that what's said in front of voters isn't always what's said in the back rooms. One senior Conservative MP, when asked about it, told a journalist, "If Farage is right, this isn't about one comment, it's about whether the man in charge is telling the country the whole truth." Now, let's be real. In the political arena, off-camera moments are nothing new. Every major figure has been caught or nearly caught saying things in private they'd never say in public. Think back to Gordon Brown's infamous bigoted woman comment in 2010, muttered into what he thought was a dead microphone. Or the moments when U.S. presidents have been caught off guard during breaks in live coverage. But here's where this gets interesting. Farage is a media veteran. He knows exactly how to frame a story so it sticks. By leaving just enough out, by not revealing every detail at once, he's essentially daring the press and the public to dig deeper. And people are. Social media lit up within hours of his remarks. One post read, "Farage is stirring the pot again, but if Starmer did say what's hinted at, we need to see the footage." Another, more skeptical voice countered, "Without proof, this is just theater. Farage knows how to get a headline, and that's all this is." But perhaps the most telling reaction came from a political insider who told a UK outlet under condition of anonymity, "I was in the room. I'm not confirming Farage's version, but I'll say this: Starmer's tone changes when the red light goes off. And that's what's fueling the fire. Because it's not just about what was said, it's about the perception that leaders have two faces. On one hand, the public face, measured, rehearsed, endlessly media-trained. On the other, the private one, strategic, calculating, maybe even blunt in ways the public might find jarring. And whether you support Starmer or not, you know this, voters don't like feeling like they're being played. Farage, of course, is using this to his advantage. He's teased that there's more information to come, saying in one interview, "I've seen behind the curtain. And when I decide to pull it all back, people won't look at him the same way." Now, whether that's political bravado or a genuine warning remains to be seen. But either way, the seed has been planted. Labour has so far refused to comment directly, sticking to their usual line about not responding to political theatre. But that silence, for some, it speaks volumes. What happens next will depend on two things: whether Farage actually releases any concrete evidence or first-hand quotes, or how the public digests this in the middle of an already tense political climate. Because let's face it, with an election on the horizon, even the smallest perception shift can move polling numbers. And if you've followed UK politics long enough, you know momentum is everything. Right now, Farage has grabbed the mic. Starmer, at least publicly, is holding his line. But politics has a funny way of turning whispers into storms. And the question remains, if this is just the beginning, how much deeper does it go? That's the story so far. The headlines might move on tomorrow, But behind the scenes, trust me, both camps are already calculating their next move. Because in modern politics, the camera might turn off, but the audience? The audience never stops watching. Stay updated.